Yesterday I didn't tell you to sit down and you sat down. I'm trying to figure out why you didn't all stand up the whole time. Okay, well, this isn't my sermon, but I do want to point out something. Y'all remember this olive tree yesterday, right? It's a beautiful olive tree. While I'm waiting for my battery to come up right there, I'll show you this. I want you to notice, first of all, the location. Now, y'all should be familiar with where this location is, at the front of the south end of the sanctuary at the front. And this olive tree is off to the right, okay? It's off to the right over here, okay, which is, you can't see the whole sanctuary, but it's just right over here. Now, here's something that's really amazing. In this olive tree, you'll notice there's a split because, as Pastor noted, it's two olive trees. And that was the definition of 1636. Remember when we saw yesterday the definition of 1636 was olive trees. Now, does everybody remember the drawing that the great Kohan Benyamin Hawkins made of the olive tree and all that went into that and the inspiration that Yahweh gave him when he made that tree? Here's that tree. Notice it has that single trunk, you may say, and it's split here into two olive trees. Do you notice it's at the exact same location to the right out here, over where this olive tree that the great Kohan Michael drew? That is in the exact same location as this right here. Off to the right, where where that big banner is out there, off to the right, in the exact same location. Wow, imagine that, right? Okay, that's not my sermon, but I wanted to get that in there because it shows the inspiration of Yahweh, that everything is done through the inspiration of Yahweh in these last days. Has been all along. Let's talk about the 7-year peace plan. Now, this is from the Mark of the Beast, because that's where it all began, this writing about the 7-year covenant. On page 171, this is written in 1976. Pastor said a strong covenant is made for a 7-year period. The two witnesses, the two olive trees, remember that you just saw over the sanctuary, will then begin to preach against lawlessness. And they will prophesy about that last 3.5 years. You know, the time period of darkness that's going to cover the earth, the deep darkness that's going to come upon this earth. In researching this 7-year covenant, this is an article from the New York Times the day after this peace accord was signed. And it says, Rabin and Arafat seal their accord as Clinton applauds brave gamble. Okay? And in the article it talks about, the signing of the treaty. I just want you to notice the time. It says at 11:43 a.m. in the sun-splashed south lawn of the White House, these people signed the Declaration of Principles, or the Oslo Agreement, the 7-year agreement, at 11:43 a.m. on September 13th, 1993. 17 years after the greatest teacher in the world told us about the signing of this strong covenant, okay? So let's first look at 9:13 when it was signed. And it means tin and dross, alloy. And the dross is figurative of evil of Jerusalem, which Yahweh is going to remove. Okay? And it's going to be removed through this process. The people are going to learn that, peace through strength does not work. Dividing the land for peace will not work. Yahweh's going to show them, he's going to remove this dross in this process. It's from 9:14, and it says, divide, partition. Well, yes, we know they're dividing the land and partitioning the land, but it's also to create division among these people, to create the hatred and division amongst the people, to get them to want to kill one another, destroy one another. It says to be divided, to separate, divide, separate, divide into parts. Actually, I think there's another Okay, that's all there. Okay. That's in the Hebrew, by the way. Hebrew 9:13. Let's look at the time of the signing. This is the Hebrew 1143, and it means between. And it means a double interval. A double interval. Okay, now remember this peace treaty, the 7-year treaty, is 2 parts with a space in between. Okay? The midst, called the midst that Pastor spoke about yesterday. It means between, in the midst of, from between. And it means an interval and space between. In other words, they signed this treaty, there's a space between, and then there's the last 3.5 years that the great son of Israel, Abel, Nebiah spoke about. The last 3.5 years. That's fixing to go into action. Now I want you to notice this word here. This is 1143 in the Greek. And it means to bite. To bite. It's only used one time. It's in that scripture that talks about don't bite. If you bite and devour one another, be careful that you're not consumed by one another. And that's what this biting and devouring and disunity bring. It occurs one time, it says. It's in Galatians 5:15. But if you bite and devour one another, take heed that you're not consumed of one another. From the commentary on Galatians 5:15, it says, to bite, to sting, seems to be used in the sense of contending and striving, like the great son of Israel, Abel, Yaakov, just got done telling you about this engaging in a strife, in bickering, arguing, the hatred, the division created by the Masons in the Catholic Church. Order out of chaos, remember? You know, get everybody at each other's throat. Divide the people. Divide the land for gain. Divide everyone. Turn every brother against one another. That's what they do. It means a climatic figurative designation of the hateful working of party enmity, in which they endeavor mutually to hurt and destroy one another. You know, party enmity, the Republicans against the Democrats, splitting everyone up, dividing everyone, getting everyone to hate each other. Party enmity, which there isn't any of that here, right? We don't have a sect of the Pharisees here, the Sadducees, the Essenes, or the Herodians, right? We're all one body, one Father, one faith, one baptism. And it's talking about the bitter antagonism of controversy and what the end result of controversy is. And remember what the great Apostle Shaul said about controversy? He said, and without controversy, talking about the house of Yahweh, without controversy, there's no controversy here. The only people that contend here are people that are not reading and studying, and they're, they're maybe fighting, wrestling with a Moloch, right? But you're going to overcome, right? We're going to overcome. Okay, so now watch this. I want to show you. This is really amazing. Get ready. Here's the headline again. I ran that headline into the Yahmatria calculator. And these numbers came up. 536, 3216, and 2467. Go to Daniel 9:27. Very familiar scripture. Should be anyway. Daniel 9:27. He will confirm a covenant with many for 1 week, the 7 years. Remember that pastor spoke about in the mark of the beast. And in the midst of the week, he will cause the sacrifice and oblation to cease. Instead, he will cause the prevalence of the Lord of heaven, even until the destruction that is determined will be poured upon the desolator. He will confirm a covenant with many for 1 week, and in the midst of the week, he will cause the sacrifice to cease. Well, what sacrifice? You remember the 4 horns of the golden altar? The sacrifice of people that they're getting ready to do. The depopulation that's planned. The sacrifice of billions of people to their God. Okay, that's what this is talking about. And remember, the first number was number 536. And it means the beginning of a sacrifice. The beginning of a sacrifice. You see the implications there? This is showing that Daniel was right. This signing of this peace treaty, and that pastor was right. The signing of this peace treaty was the beginning of a sacrifice. I don't know how you can get any plainer than that. How can you not be impressed by what Yahweh is showing you right now? How can anybody here not be impressed unless your mind's clouded with marijuana or LSD or some kind of sin? There's no way that you cannot get excited about these things and want to get your nose in that book, in all the books, and stay up. I don't care. Get your duties done first, like Pastor said, but study. Now, 536 in the Hebrew means away, and it's from the word sick, the word amal, Hebrew word amal, and it means to fail. Fails. It's going to fail. It was meant to fail. And it means to languish, to be sick. Remember Isaiah 24, 1 through 6. The earth languishes. Okay? It's sick. It's diseased. Why? Because the abominations that this Catholic Church has taught the world. Okay? And that they're following. The second number was 32:16. And it means devour. Well, wait a minute. Didn't Galatians 5:15 say bite? Now the term devour comes up. What does it mean, devour? It means to blurt or utter inconsiderably, to devour. You know, to devour with words, to devour with this strife and bickering, this division that Yahweh doesn't want in His house. It's not going to be in His house. He will not allow it. The next number was 2467, and it means no. It's a Greek. It's from this word here. And it means a covering, cloak, veil, pretext. Remember, this is a secret agreement. It's veiled. It's covered. You don't really know what's behind it, but we know because pastors taught us. There's secret clauses in this with the Vatican. It means a covering, a cloak. And it's from this Greek word here. By the way, it's used in that cloak of maliciousness. A cloak of maliciousness, hatred. They have some kind of dirty deed behind it. It means to cover up. It means covered so it's not come to view. Remember, it's a secret agreement. Now, in my final scripture, or my final number, I want you to notice this. Go over back to Daniel again, okay? Because Pastor wrote something else in Daniel chapter 9 in the commentary. We're going to read it. Daniel 9:27. We're going to read the commentary down below in footnote 4a. Everybody needs to read this, so please have your book of Yahweh open right now. Because this was written years and years ago, and it shows the inspiration. 4a says, verse 9:27. Hebrew gahir barit, meaning confirm a covenant. A Hebrew and Chaldee lexicon to the Old Testament by Julius First, page 260, shows that this is a covenant of oppression. The covenant this prince confirms will be difficult to many. That is, they will hardly be able to bear it on account of enmities and suffering. Okay, and you've watched over the years the suffering the people have gone through. The very Yahmatria of October 13th, 1993, when this went into action, one of the numbers you'll see is 600, and that's the only one I'm going to go over. 600, it's from this Hebrew word here, and it means anger. Anger, wrath, quick-tempered, wrath and anger. It's from this Hebrew word anaf, and it means angry, to become enraged. See right here? Be enraged, be angry. Remember, the nations are being provoked to anger. They're being provoked. Revelation 11:18 for your notes. My final number, 3600. It means to cause or suffer pain, torment, pain. To suffer acute pain, physical or mental. Very painful, sorrowful, deep personal anguish expressed by great mourning. Is that not remarkable that our pastor wrote this in the book, The Mark of the Beast? And the numbers back him up 1,000%, because Yahweh confirms, He strengthens, He establishes His word through these numbers. This is one of the ways He does it. He's going to confirm, He's going to show that our pastor and overseer He is a man ahead of his time, right? He's the greatest teacher in the world. He's a great inspiration to all of us. Get these books, The Mark of the Beast. Get them. Get them now. Don't wait. Get the Nuclear Baby. Get these books and study them. Get your nose in them. And Yahweh will greatly bless you if you'll do that. He will. He'll bless your efforts. And at this time, if you'd all please stand. It's my great honor and privilege to present to you the great Kohan Benyamin Hawkins.
Shalom, you may be seated.